Hello, Senior Stoner fan. Just a real Senior Stoner back at you for your dab of the day. Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, the start of another work week for many of you. Well, the topic is self evident today. The weather sucks. It's cold and it's actually snowing big flakes, and it's sticking. How do people like us deal with this type of weather? It ain't easy. If you're like me and you have a routine where you walk your sugar, you walk your dog, you take yourself to the corner or to the park, you have to really make an evaluation of whether or not you can get clothes on, put boots on, put gloves on, take your cane or your walker, and make it in this weather. I doubt it. I'm thinking against it because I walked outside just to the deck. Very slippery. So, in this situation, unfortunately, we all have to err on the side of caution. However, there are some interesting alternatives that I've come up with. Let's take a look at them. For yourself, this is not including a pet. Go to the mall. I know it's a drive, but if you are a walker, if you really need to walk, if that's what gets out of your brain, out of your mind, gets the solace, you got to get there and you got to walk. If you guys make it to the gym, if you go to a gym or you do stuff like that, try to get there before the weather gets really, really lousy, or wait until the roads get cleared. Now, if you can't get out and you're stuck, I mean stuck, you got to put your pooch on the deck, make a little hole for them in the snow so they can go to the bathroom, and there's no walking a dog, and there's no going to a gym. What can you do? Well, you can go online and look at a variety of different exercises to be done in your chair, on your sofa, and on your floor. Believe it or not, I've looked at them. On your chair, simple things with your arms and just lifting your knees and moving your feet to get circulation going, and kind of a male Kegel exercise. Squeeze your butt cheeks together, okay? More aggressive is take a ball and start doing some exercises on the floor. And even more aggressive than that would be if you're like Mrs. Stoner and she has a treadmill in the house, okay? Now, that's not the only thing we have to deal with, obviously. People in pain like us. We have to be extremely careful that we don't think we're a number one or a number two in pain and make that one slip and turn it into a number 10 or worse. So, what you have to do on days like this, in weather situations like this, is err on the side of caution. And those of you who live in winter areas, you know what I'm talking about. You all do it already. Err on the side of caution seems to me just to mean that what you're going to do is you're not going to take the same risk you would have taken on dry land. You don't want to have that slip and fall. You don't want to break, God forbid, a hip or something worse. So, what you have to also think about is driving. Those of us who drive still, driving is difficult in these situations. Well, so is getting to your car, so is cleaning your car. I actually have a remote control starter, and in the summertime I leave it on air conditioning, in the wintertime I leave it on heat. So hopefully today, when I'm ready to go to the doctor's appointment after lunch, I'll be able to hit the button in the house, start the car, and the snow will melt. That's my prayer, because it's very difficult for me, as it would be for many of you, to clean off a car. In many cases, I think I'd be stuck waiting for it to melt in the driveway and driving it a little bit to get the snow off of it. I'm not going to be reaching with a brush anymore and doing all that. That's just too risky for me. I think what we have to all come to grips with, and we've talked about this many, many times, is our limitations. Limitations often are not visible. Even when you think about it, you're not thinking about you have limitations because your body still might look the same. But I noticed with Sugar my pooch, the scurrying. When it's icy, she scurries, but she misses. She's had an ACL problem. I don't want her to get hurt. In other words, you almost have to take a micro approach to this in order not to hurt yourself. You are not normal. You are not able to just go out and walk down to the mailbox and say hi to a neighbor while it's snowing. You need to watch every step you're taking. I'll say it again. You need to watch every step you are taking, because you cannot fall. People in our situation can't fall because we might not be able to get up ourselves. What do you think of that one? So it's extremely important. I think, as a sidebar, especially after what I just said, if you have them, travel with people in this weather. Try not to travel outside in a car or anywhere else alone in this weather. Because what happens if something happens? Look, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not catastrophizing. I'm looking at bad weather with a foot forecast of snow, and I'm saying to myself, gee, what are the things that can happen outside of the home? Look, in your own home, you know your parameters already. Out there, we got enough trouble on dry land, nevertheless, in a heavy snowstorm. So keep your wits about you and shoot low. What I mean by shoot low is if you think you can drive 40, drive 30. If you think you can go fast on your feet, go baby steps on your feet. Everything you think you can do today, ratchet it back because you're probably incorrect. The measurement scales are off. It's slippery underneath the snow. We think we're great. We think we're stable, but we're not. How many of you out there have fallen? Okay? Need I say more? So it's extremely important. Today can go one of either two ways. It can be a beautiful day for us all to look at and enjoy and say, what a pretty snowstorm this is. Or we can be dummies and we can say, oh crap, we now have to go get something done to us, emergency, because we hurt ourselves. So this is the kind of day we exercise extra caution and we say to ourselves to be a little extra careful. There's nothing wrong with being a little extra careful. Nothing. We're going to take some New England Refine, fresh rosin, super glue, and put it today in our Puffco Peak. And we're going to do a cold load. You can see with my spoon in there, it's loaded in, and it's going to melt right down with the spoon. You might even see it start to bubble. And it slides right off that spoon once it's done. Because what you're doing is you're basically touching the spoon to a hot plate. And what you're doing is you're letting it melt off the spoon, just like it did. Melts off the spoon. Now you cover it up with your carb cap. Wait a second. Cheers. Very tasty. Very tasty. Excuse me. I want to start talking about it here in case you hear rumors. There's going to be a huge escalation in my product reviews. On Black Friday, let's leave it at this, I made a killing. Mrs. Stoner bought me my Hanukkah present, which was everything. So you're going to see me unroll and unveil a variety of new devices for us to look at. You know, the e-nails are not the only thing in the world. So we're going to find other things to introduce, things that are going to be easy for people like us. This is the Real Senior Stoner, trying to bring some pain-free living and ease to all of us. Cheers, everybody.